Now, this is a very, very important logic gate, because as we will see just now that most um, logic operations can be done by using just only NAND gate. So, it has become a popular way of doing it. So, these are some people call it derived operations. What is the question of who calls what as a fundamental which is derived and all this? I can call them fundamental, call them derived, but this is how people call it as derived operations. How do we use them now? And how do these circuits use? So, we will take first combinatorial logic, where there is no memories built into it, that a response for a logic network is only depends upon the input at that instant of time, does not depend upon the past inputs or past memories and so on. So, such circuits we call it as combinatorial logic. Before the semiconductor or a vacuum tube technology has come, does not mean that not use. What people did was to use an ordinary mechanical switch as a binary element. Closing is 1, opening is 0. So, you built networks doing logical operations using mechanical networks having large number of switches, one switch corresponding to each of these 1 or a 0. And that is why classically the subject of logic circuits is known as switching circuits, because the subject of study came through the concept of classical mechanical switch. So, the theory behind whatever I am talking about is actually known as switching theory. A very complex subject, and this is because of this fellow sitting here. Okay, what is a combinatorial logic problem? Somebody gives you a statement, a problem statement. If such and such happens, do this. If such and such happens, do this. This is the kind of statement that is made, and then you will have to give a circuit which will satisfy your statements. Problem statement, and the problem statement has to be changed and translated into something like that, which is called a truth table. And when the truth table is known for the problem statement, you have to now translate this truth table with requirements in terms of a set of AND OR gates which will connect in some manner to output relationship. Right? Combinatorial problem. Just to give you an example, if somebody says there is a company, this is a standard example everybody talks about. There are 3 board of directors. You understand all this as a board. Every company has a board, and these are the final decision makers, and the board members will have some rule of the game, and if some places they say the chairman says yes, then it is yes, and other people have no voice. Or if chairman says no, is indecisive, and then leaves it, then you will make a decision based on the majority of the others. And all kinds of rules of the game are established in a company, and they follow the rules. It may be democratic, it may be autocratic, it may be something in between. Whatever it is, there is a rule of the game. Here the rule of the game is there are 3 board of directors A, B, C, and a problem is brought to them: should I acquire Reliance company or not. If I have sufficient money, I want to acquire Reliance company, do I acquire Reliance or not? So the three sit down and then decide should I take it up or not. They have their own inputs and all these things. Finally, they come to voting, the boardroom, and try to decide whether some company has to be acquired or not. The rule of the game here in this company is if a majority of them say yes, then the action will be taken. So what is the statement of the problem? If this fellow says 0, 0, 0, all of them must say no, then the output here D is 0. No decision is 0. We are not going to acquire a company. If this fellow says 0, 0 and 1, this fellow says 1, then obviously decision is 0. And if this fellow says 0, 1, 0, see what I am doing. I am seeing all possibilities of 0 and 1, each one of them. How many possibilities exist? 2 to the power of 3 in this case. So 8 possibilities exist. For each one of these 8, I am making a clear-cut decision D, either 0 or 1. Because it has to be binary. Like we said here, the C also has to be part of the set. So the outcome also has to be a 0 or 1. You cannot say half and all this. There are no halves here and 2's here. There is 0 or 1. So this is also 0. And the next fellow is 1, 1, right? So this should be 1. But 2 people said yes. And like this you can go on writing down. After this comes 1, 0, 0. No. 1, 0, 1. Yes. 1, 1, 0. Yes. Right? How many are over? 3, 4, 7. Last one is 1, 1, 1. See what I am doing. I exhausted all possible combinations resulting out of 3 variables, to each variable taking a 0 or a 1. So the possible combinations are 2 to the power of 3, 8. And for each one of these, I have made a clear-cut decision it is 0 or a 1. Okay? You may come to a situation in a board where that C fellow is a sort of fellow, what he says is irrelevant. So if he says something, disregard it. It is possible. So there may be possibilities where you say, don't care. We'll come to that kind of situations, but let's say in this particular case, they are all senior people and each one has a respect to each other and everybody has a voice in this, so they come to this kind of an agreement. So now there is a button there in front of each fellow. He presses a button, if he says yes, otherwise he doesn't press a button, and there must be some kind of voting machine which will tell you finally whether the vote is 1 or a 0. You have to design that voting machine. Right? So this is exactly the rule of the machine, which is called the truth table, and I will have to implement this by using the AND gates and OR gates and NOT gates. So this is a typical combinatorial problem. Okay? And there is no remembrance here in the sense, oh, such a time when such a problem came, the board decided like that, and that is irrelevant. Right? You are only making decision at this time of the game. So this network is purely a combinatorial network. And then what is the relation of D in terms of ABC? So I must write some equation here like this and like this as a D as a function of ABC. So now D must be written as a function of A and B in this case. This function is called a Boolean function. And the reason is quite clear, A, B, C are Boolean variables and the output D is also a Boolean variable and the function relating the n number of Boolean variable to some, in this case 1 output Boolean variable. So now I must write an equation. How do you write this equation for this truth table? Just like here we have done, C is equal to A plus B, C is equal to A into B. Similarly, I must write D as a function of A, B, C. It is very easy to see what you should do. D is either taking a 0 or a 1. I am only interested in what are the D is equal to 1. So, look at those D's which are 1s and see what combination of A, B, C will give you 1 using those rules. Right? So, what did the D come out to be equal to? Look at this 1. First one is 0, irrelevant, we are only worried about ones. This comes out when this is 0 and this is 1 and this is 1. So, this combination, if it has to give rise to 1, this must be equal to A bar B C, right. So, that this product will be equal to 1. Then there is another one here and that is equal to A B bar C, right, A B bar C, and the last one is equal to A B C bar, and the last one is, this one is equal to A B C, right. This Boolean function D in terms of A B C will satisfy this truth table. So, the way you write this Boolean function from the truth table is only look at those ones and see what combination of these Boolean variables you give rise to 1. This is called the sigma pi sum of the product form sum of the products. It is a straightforward way of doing it, brute method, brute force method. Just write down looking at the truth table. Now, two questions come in your mind. Is this the only representation? Are there many other possibilities of expressing D in terms of ABC through another Boolean function? What is your answer? Because I am only talking about input-output relationship. Umpteen number of dabbas in between can give you the same input-output. We have seen this in network theory. There is no uniqueness of a network which will give a given input, given an output to a given input. Same holds good here. There may be umpteen number of hardware realization of the Boolean function which will give rise to same output for the inputs ABC. Okay. Now, question in your mind is there something better than this? And what is your concept of better? Concept of better may be many reasons. Number of gates may be less, then become cheaper, or the amount of time it takes when I give a command of ABC values, and then a D value has to come. Because it is a hardware, there is a semiconductor sitting on this, there may be some amount of D in the D coming when ABCs are given, which is called the response time of the logic circuit. So, you may say that the logic circuit implementation must be such that the response time is minimum. So, you may put some figure of merit. With respect to that, is this the best way or is there some other way? Because umpteen number of ways are there. In good old days, our aim was to minimize the number of gates, as OR gates or AND gates and NAND gates, whatever it is, minimize the number of gates because gates were expensive. But today, I will come to that as for theoretical appreciation of the subject called minimization. How do you minimize the number of gates? That should be used to do a realization of given combinatorial Boolean function. But today maybe it is irrelevant. because the number of gates in a chip are so large that in fact you don't use them. So we are living in luxury in the sense that chip contains so many of them, hardly ever use all the chips available to you. So the minimization concepts are no more irrelevant. But as a subject, we will quickly see how to do that. Are you with me? You have some doubt? Some doubt? Oh. So we will see whether this is there any better way of doing this D operation, okay? So we'll stop here and take off in the next class.